Mars, the red planet, a dusty, frozen desert over 140 million miles away. And yet, we keep asking the same question. Could humans actually live there? It's not just science fiction anymore. From Elon Musk's bold plans to NASA's long-term goals, the idea of colonizing Mars is gaining real momentum. But let's get one thing straight. Living on Mars wouldn't be like moving to another country. It would be like moving to another reality. So let's break it down. Could humans survive on Mars? What would it take? And how close are we, really? First, the basics. Mars is cold. Really cold. The average temperature is around minus 80 degrees Fahrenheit. That's colder than Antarctica, and that's just the average. At night, it can drop to minus 195. So unless you're a penguin in a spacesuit, you're going to need serious insulation. Then there's the atmosphere. Mars has one, but it's thin, like barely there. It's 100 times thinner than Earth's and made up of over 95% carbon dioxide. So breathe that in and yeah, you're not breathing for long. No oxygen means no walking around without a pressurized suit and a steady supply of air. And don't forget about the radiation. Earth has a magnetic field and a thick atmosphere that shields us from cosmic rays and solar radiation. Mars? Not so much. Living unprotected on the Martian surface would be like standing next to a microwave that never turns off. Long-term exposure would increase cancer risk dramatically. So any real Mars habitat would need to be shielded, either built underground, covered in Martian soil, or housed in thick radiation-proof domes. Okay, sounds harsh. But we're not done. Let's talk about gravity. Mars has about 38% of Earth's gravity. That sounds cool. You could jump three times higher. But over time, low gravity affects your bones, muscles, and even your heart. Astronauts on the International Space Station lose muscle mass and bone density even after just a few months. Imagine living years in Martian gravity. We'd probably need artificial gravity systems, which we haven't quite mastered yet, or serious exercise protocols just to keep our bodies functioning. Oh, and don't count on a nice glass of water unless you bring it with you. Mars does have water, but it's frozen underground or locked in salty soil. Extracting it would require equipment, energy, and time. And speaking of time, a one-way trip to Mars takes about 6 to 9 months, depending on the planetary alignment. That means we're not talking quick weekend getaways. But here's the exciting part. None of this is impossible, just insanely difficult. NASA has already sent rovers to explore the surface. The Perseverance rover is literally looking for signs of past life and gathering data for future missions. SpaceX is developing reusable rockets and habitat concepts for Mars colonization. In fact, they plan to send cargo missions, and eventually, people. Scientists are working on growing food in Martian-like soil. They've already grown lettuce, radishes, and peas in simulated Martian dirt right here on Earth. Astronauts on the ISS have even eaten space-grown crops. The idea? Create closed-loop life support systems where waste is recycled, water is purified, and oxygen is regenerated, all inside a self-sustaining habitat. And what about those habitats? Some designs look like giant igloos, others like inflatable bubbles. Some are built into cliffs or craters for protection. They'd be stocked with solar panels, algae bioreactors, oxygen tanks, 3D printers, and smart recycling systems. It would be like living inside a high-tech fishbowl, but with better Wi-Fi, hopefully. Then there's the human side. The psychology of isolation, the pressure of being so far from Earth, the teamwork required to survive. That might be the hardest challenge of all. Living on Mars wouldn't just test our technology, it would test our patience, creativity, and resilience. So, could we live on Mars? Technically, yes. With the right technology, preparation, and infrastructure, we could build a livable environment. But it wouldn't be Earth 2.0. It would be a harsh, alien world that demands constant vigilance and innovation, at least for the first few generations. Realistically, Mars isn't going to be a place where families are vacationing anytime soon. But as a research outpost, as a long-term science station, maybe even as a small, slowly growing colony, we're getting closer every year. The question isn't really, can we live on Mars? The question is, Are we willing to build a life on a world that was never meant for us? Because if we are, the first Martian footsteps might not be that far away. And who knows? The first person to live on Mars might be alive right now. Maybe it's a scientist. Maybe it's an engineer. Maybe it's a kid watching this video, looking up at the sky and thinking, someday. And that's how every great mission starts, with a question, with a dream, and with the courage to leave home and build a new one on another world.